Emblem Veronica is a fun and tasteful addition to the Fire Emblem Engage roster. She not only enhances the gameplay of Fire Emblem Engage, but does a pretty good job of calling back thematically to her origins of Fire Emblem heroes. Emblem Veronica provides magic, resistance, and luck, and her engage attack is Summon Hero, allowing you to simulate Fire Emblem Heroes gacha mechanics. When used, you pick between 4 colors: red, blue, green, or colorless. These colors are associated with a weapon type, with red being swords, blue being lances, green being axes, and all other weapon types falling into the colorless category. When summoning a hero, you have a high chance to summon a generic 3-star enemy unit, an uncommon chance to summon a stronger 4-star generic enemy unit, and a rare chance to summon other emblems as 5-star heroes. After summoning the unit, you have full control over what they do. The enemy units will have class skill tied to their classes and will last until they are killed or you run out of engage time with Veronica. While these units can steal XP, they are invaluable in baiting enemies to attack or miss position. Dragon-type classes will only summon 4 or 5-star heroes. Backup-type classes grant the skill Dual Strike to any unit summoned, turning them into a backup unit, and this is super spicy. And Cavalry-type classes grant the summoned unit a bonus 1 additional movement range. Personally, I'm more drawn to equipping Veronica to a backup unit just because being a backup unit can eliminate some of the RNG that you might face when summoning a hero. You might get a 3-star that might not be as useful, but since chain attacks deal damage that scales off of the enemy's health, it doesn't really matter how strong or weak your unit is as long as they are in range to attack. Veronica's engage skill, Contact, refreshes an adjacent ally and allows them to act once more, but with a catch: they cannot move. This can be extremely useful in taking out a big boss with multiple health bars in one turn or hexing enemies with staves. I've also wanted to test a dance loop where I have somebody equipped with Veronica's Emblem Bracelet initiate contact with a dancer who already took their turn to dance somebody else, and use them to re-dance units nearby, and they were unable to dance a second time. This is strange because Goddess Dance allows the dancer to dance again, but Contact does not. Probably because Goddess Dance is an engage attack, so it has more power or something like that, but that's something to know. Dragon-type classes grant +2 to strength, magic, defense, and resistance to units they contact. Backup-type classes turn whoever they contact into a backup unit for the turn, and covert-type classes grant the contacted unit 30 additional hit and avoid. Veronica's inheritable skills are as follows. Magic and Dex 1 to 5 grant a persistent stat increase to both Magic and Dex based on the level of the skill, with a maximum boost of 5. Book of Worlds is a super fun skill that has up to 5 different charges. To gain a charge, the unit with this skill must use the wait command. All charges are expended when the unit initiates an attack, and the ability will be dependent on the number of charges accumulated. Higher charge abilities retroactively apply effects from the lower charges, so no worries. With 1 charge, Book of World activates Book 1, Seal, freezing the enemy after combat. With 2 charges, Book of World activates Book 2, Flames, igniting the tile the enemy is standing on with flames and freezes the enemy as well. With 3 charges, Book of World activates Book 3, Death, dealing 10 additional damage to enemies after combat, setting their tiles on fire, and freezing them. With 4 charges, Book of World activates Book 4, Dreams, restoring the unit's HP based on the damage dealt, while dealing 10 extra damage to the enemy, setting their tile on fire, and freezing them after combat. And with 5 charges, Book of World activates Book 5, Science, augmenting the heal from Book 4 to also affect adjacent allies, and all the other effects remain the same. Each effect represents the different story arcs within Fire Emblem heroes, and this skill is super fun and can be downright amazing depending on where you are in the game. It has a low cost of 300 SP, and for certain units it would be very easy to proc the first charge consistently, which is huge. Also to note again, the charges are spent when you initiate attacks, so if you have an enemy phase unit or a more supportive unit, this can be pretty easy to stack up given the right circumstances. Knife Guard 1 to 5 reduces damage when fighting an enemy equipped with a knife by 1 to 5 damage depending on the skill level, and Level Boost grants the unit an additional level whenever the unit defeats a higher level foe up to a maximum of 3 levels. This is not permanent, and the potential power of this skill is random based on the stats gained from that level up. SP Conversion is an amazing skill and probably one of the best in the game, especially early on. Every time the unit with this skill defeats an enemy, they gain an additional 20 SP regardless of having a ring equipped or not. This skill should have been given to you much earlier in the base game. This should definitely not be a paid DLC skill because SP is really hard to get in the original game, so it's hard to make a full build with most of your early game units, at least without grinding. And lastly, Reprisal and Reprisal Plus adds an additional 30% or 50% of the unit's missing health as additional attack. This skill is just flat out strong, but it has a ton of potential with Wrath, Resolve, or Vantage type units who want to be at lower health. Veronica's engaged weapons are as follows. Forgive me for butchering this name, but Hilk Staff is a 13 might staff that deals magic damage and prevents an enemy from counter-attacking. Fortify Plus heals and removes stats effects of all nearby allies within a 7 range radius, and this is super powerful. And lastly, Ella Vagar is a powerful 18 might tome that nullifies all basic stat bonuses from a foe after combat for 1 turn. Overall, Veronica provides a lot of fun tools that many units can use. She seems best on supportive units who may sometimes have dead turns or prefer to be in the backlines. Magically aligned characters like Ivy, Hortensia, Celine, Citrine, Pendeo, Fram, Jean, Mavia, Marin, and Anna seem great with Veronica. There are also units like Jade and Alfred who gains bonuses from using the Wait command as well, so you can pair that up with Book of Worlds. Here are some fun setups for Emblem Veronica. First up is a Griffin Knight build. Griffin Knights are fast and also have a bit of magic growth, and their class skill, Clear the Way, is also pretty useful on a supportive unit, turning any 2-cost tiles, like Forest, into a normal plain tile in terms of movement cost if your Griffin Knight is adjacent to that tile. They also have access to Flame Lances and Stave to make use of that magic stat. Add inheritable skills like Assign Decoy, Draconic Hex, and Rally Spectrums to the mix, and you have a devastatingly good unit that can provide a lot of different functions, similar to that of a Swiss Army knife that can get you out of a lot of different situations. Next is augmenting the dual assist hero setup with Veronica. The hero's class skill allows them to chain attack twice at full HP. If you're boss killing and decide to contact one of your damage dealers adjacent to the boss, not only do you turn that unit into a backup unit, but when they attack again, your hero unit will then chain attack twice alongside them. As with the build, quality time and dual assist allows this unit to do more with less. Third is what I'm running, a Radiant Bull Warrior like Anna or Fragato with Rally Spectrum Plus. It's a mix between the first 2 builds, but I like the additional luck that the emblem provides and wanted to stack this up with Anna's passive to make some more money. And as mentioned before, we can pair up Veronica's Emblem Bracelet up to units like Alfred and Jade for an enemy phase build that focuses on Book of Worlds. Reprisal can be put to good use here as they want to be frontline units mainly. These 2 units can make quite good use of being a great knight, giving them access to the class skill, allied defense to reduce damage, and also a +1 movement range bonus to any units they summon with Veronica's engage attack, as great knights are bulky and armored, but they classify as a cavalry unit. Pair this up with Resolve and pair up to make this unit even harder to kill. As with the 4 sample builds, we can see that Veronica provides a lot to the table. She honestly feels like a more fair version of Linz's emblem ring, and I like that. I do want to restate one more time that if you use summon heroes as a backup unit, the summoned unit will also become a backup unit, so it doesn't matter if it's a 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star, a backup unit for 3 to 4 turns will be very helpful in taking down enemies as long as you put them in places that can chain attack correctly. What are your thoughts on Emblem Veronica? How does she fit into your party? Let us know in the comments below, and if you had a good time, leave a like and consider subscribing for more Fire Emblem Engage content. Thanks. If you'd like to participate in my community relay trial events, make sure to turn the notifications on to all so that the event community post will get pushed to you when it drops. To learn more about Emblem, Chrom, and Robin, check out this video on screen right now for a breakdown of their skills with some sample builds included. My name is Varsona, and I'll see you in the next video.